What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Beta Memoirs. And today, well, we had a lot of ups and downs. We just kind of rattled around. No, this is not Dr. Seuss. Being said, remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Well, today was quite interesting, to say the least. There was a lot of sideways action. Like I said, a lot of the earnings I reported yesterday in the weekly update that there's a lot of earnings coming out this week. A lot of the bigger names have kind of already reported, although we still got Disney, we still got Cisco, we still got Twitter. We do have a couple big ones tomorrow. The market did push down today. I thought we were finally going to get that correction today, and then it turned around and starting pushing up back to all-time highs, and actually looked like we broke over the trend line. How much longer are we going to continue to run? We can continue all day long. To be honest, there's nothing really that can't happen in the market, because it always proves you wrong if you think that it's not possible. But being said, let's go ahead and throw up the chart today. I know my weekly video, there was a lot of great setups. A lot of things took off today. I didn't take any positions. A lot of them were quick pumps in the morning. And then from that point, what ended up happening was they died off. And then we got a little pump again towards the end of the day, and again, breaking all-time highs. So at this point, it's hard to really tell where we're at. I know I talked about we could possibly even have another week of this. I think it's very possible of pushing to all-time highs. I've been light in and out. Three of the positions I was holding today, Planet 13 being one of them. I actually got out of that today. It pushed up to about 640, I believe, and I popped out of it. I got out of it pretty early in the morning. I was struggling. The whole market looked like it was going to turn over, which it did at open. I thought that would have been the leg down, but it proved me wrong and turned around and started pushing back up. But nonetheless, I still am only holding two light positions in some lower cap stocks. I'm mainly cash at this point. So being said, we are going all-time highs. Are we going to try to test 400 in another week? I don't know if we're going to have that much more oomph. I'm kind of wondering where this gas is coming from at this point. I know there's a lot of good news, but the stocks still need to rest. There does need to be a bit of a correction. I know last week we pulled back about 5%, which is pretty good, but I think there's a bigger correction coming. I think there's a crash coming, but again, a bigger correction. So again, I am recording this at 5:01 Eastern Standard Time. So the market literally just closed about an hour ago. Being said, SPY in itself, it'd be interesting to see where we open up. I mean, we broke over that trend. I mean, this isn't a solid thing either. You could also pop right back down to the 20 and start selling off tomorrow. But again, we still have big earnings. So I think we still, and it is only the beginning of February. But being said, I think any time at this point, we've been running essentially for 6 days straight, just going straight up. So being said, I don't want to get heavy into any position, although I wish I had gotten heavy in Palanters this morning when it was gapping up, but it's all good. It happens. Being said, QQQ, running against that resistance. I know big tech has really been struggling, and I think that's the ultimate tall tale sign here. Big tech, essentially all big tech has already reported earnings for the most part that I'm aware of. Being said, it's just been kind of stagnant and wanting to sell off. Even Tesla itself, right? Tesla, if we drop down to Tesla, I mean, Tesla has had all this big news today about Bitcoin and everything else. And I think they had some news about the factory in India as well, something along those lines, and pushed up, and it just didn't move. I think big tech wants to sell. I think big tech is tired at this point. Be interesting to see actually what happens there, but ultimately, tech is struggling. Aside from Square, Square just I don't even know if I want to look at Square today. My conviction in this was so high, and then I cut it off at this fake out candle here. And again, we pushed up again today, ridiculous, to the 264. That based off of Elon buying, or not Elon himself, but Tesla buying Bitcoin, and has made the Square essentially skyrocket from that point. So being said, again, their earnings is reported at the end of the month. Could they test? They could possibly try to test 300. I don't know. Even this move, this was essentially coming from the Bitcoin craze today, the news that came out today, Tesla buying Bitcoin, kind of solidifying Bitcoin, in my opinion. But being said, I don't really know if we're going to, I mean, I could see we could still push up maybe to 290. I think it was going to start plateauing like it has been doing here. It finally ended up actually breaking out of there and now starting to push pretty high, but I could look for a continuation on this tomorrow. Have to see, but it is, again, quite high. Airbnb, again, too high. So that's the thing. A lot of these, I don't really have a lot of setups today. I talked about a lot of setups yesterday and this morning. There was a lot of setups that actually panned out well. If you were scalping today, you could have, there were some great setups given yesterday. But as far as today, and tomorrow, I really don't have any good setups, to be honest. I mean, there's the market itself just it doesn't look good, and to be honest, I'm not really quite sure what is actually pushing up the market. Apple has been trading sideways. A lot of these big techs have been trading sideways. Facebook, same thing, and BYND, the same thing as well. I mean, everything's going sideways. I've actually started looking at BYND, to be honest, and I was like, well, maybe it will push up, and then to be honest, when I play BYND, I don't like this mid-range, because this mid-range, you get a lot of wicks and a lot of the sideways movements. I don't like this. BYND tends to play this pattern after a big move. It slowly drops, stair steps back down the way it stair stepped up. Again, waiting for 110 on that one. Etsy, high reports next week. I don't know how much more gas it's got. A lot of these big ones, I mean, you got Disney on Thursday. This one, to be honest, it will be interesting to see come tomorrow, or come Thursday, I should say, if this is the one the market is waiting on after Disney, because I think Disney's definitely going to test 200, especially with earnings from Disney could probably even explode past that. You look for 210 at that point, but I think with the earnings from Netflix and then Disney Plus and everything, I think can really make this bad boy rip. Planters, again, I'm upset. I was actually looking at this last Friday. I was like, I should load the boat here. And then I woke up to this and I was like, oh man, I missed out. But again, it turned around and sold off. It looks like it's starting to bounce back out and starting to run again after hours. And then DM, I like this one. This is another one, call out. It did tag and go today. I didn't play that one either. I didn't play any of these. I was just really mainly managing. I really wanted to see how the market was going to go, because I was like, well, what's the odds of the market, running another day, 6 days straight, just green? Well, it's possible, because it happened again today. Being said, NNOX, I did call this one out again yesterday. If you had held over the weekend, then you would have had a nice little gap, but you would have had a quick spike, and then that would have been it. This one I'm upset, the HTIF. This is one I barely missed on Friday, and it went screaming up. Again, I don't typically play penny stocks. I do like this one. I want this one to come back down before I even get in it. ALLM, I'm in this one still. I want to hold this one a longer swing. This is more kind of almost like a year play, right? This is the kind of play I'm going with this. So when I came into this, that's essentially what I was looking at this, because I like the renewable resources area. It's a high risk considering it's below $1, right? So it's penny stock. But being said, I like the company and I like the fundamentals essentially of this company and where the possibilities could go. So I'm willing to let this thing crash if this company goes bankrupt and whatever. It is what it is, right? At this point, I like the odds of this one. So that's why I manage my risks is in the size of my position. If it does come down, I'll probably average down a little bit but I'm not going to get super heavy in this. This is kind of one of those ones I just put a little bit of cash in it, let it ride out for the year type thing. Planet 13, it did pop up today. I did get out of this candle. I missed a couple more cents. It's all good. But like I said, I almost really loaded this up, to be honest. I came really close to loading this up. And I was actually lucky. I barely caught this thing before it pulled up the next day. I mean, it could have probably re-added here the following day, but it was slowly building up. So I caught a good majority of this. So I can't complain. I'm not trying to be greedy and take every spike up. I typically like to let it run for 2 or 3 days normally. If it runs anything past that, you increase your odds of it starting to sell off. So being said, a lot of the positions, even like Square, that position I had in Square, it was just the market uncertainty is what kind of made me back out of it. And then we had that sharp drop, whatever day it was last week. And that really kind of just tagged me out of the position, and then it ran from there. But very good butcher. I'm still in this one, waiting for the move. They are moving over to a different exchange, the Toronto exchange, I believe. So this, the VRYYF, will actually change to Very, VERY. From at that point to be on the Toronto exchange, so there'll be more people able to get in on this. And I think once that happens, I think this one can really start ripping and running. Just some background on the company here, but this particular company, I've used its products before and stuff, and this company really has a lot of potential. Their stuff has been back ordered like ridiculous amounts. It does have earnings. It doesn't have like regular earnings coming up. But being said, any numbers they do report, I think for the holidays is going to be ridiculous. So I can really see this thing screaming. Testing 7, if not breaking 7, maybe go for 758. But I think it's got a lot of potential, especially being transitioned over. It's supposed to transition over here in the first quarter at some point. So see that in the coming weeks as well. So I think I can see very good butcher actually running quite big here. This one is another one I've been kind of looking at taking PLXTXF right now. I'm waiting on this. But we'll see. I'm trying to find out some more fundamentals on this company, really. This might be another one like the ALM. I'm only put a big enough position on it. So for some reason, if it went to 0, I'd be okay. I'm not really worried about it. Again, I'm mostly cash. I'm waiting for stuff to sell off. This one actually had a nice wedge here today and broke out of that and climbed up. So you got about a straight dollar move out of the Evo Gen today. Crisp. Actually looked really good. Consolidation looks really good on this. I've debated on taking this. Again, the only thing I'm waiting, I don't want to jump into anything right now. I think we're so high right now. There's got to be some kind of correction coming. And I'm not trying to go heavy and get caught. But like, oh, okay, well, there's not going to ever be a correction. And then it corrects, and I'm stuck in a big position holding. And that's not what I'm trying to do. Yeah, I could put a stop on it and stop out, but I'd much rather the stocks go back to a normal level and load from there, because right now everything's just too high. I haven't even taken option contracts because I think everything is just way too high. And normally if I swing, again, I've been playing a lot of pennies the past couple of days just because of that way. So it's more like a cut overnight, maybe a couple of days, but not trying to hold long term. But yeah, I have a couple that are like long term. They don't really care what happens, but I'm just trying to set myself up for this correction so that way I can get bigger positions in those stocks that I want. MP, I do want MP when it does come down. I know they have earnings coming up, I believe. I don't know if it's this week or next week, but it's pretty soon. I think it's actually next week. So interesting to see if this drops down again to the zone, this 28.94 area. I definitely want to get in leaps in MP for the year. Hopefully that's on the correction. We'll have to see. TSA looks like it's rolling over. TSIA, sorry. ENPH. Waiting. Everything is just really in a bad spot. Oh, STPK. This finally broke out. I did tag out on this when it tagged in the zone last week. It finally broke out and broke up and looks like it's starting to run. I don't know what news came out on this. I would almost news on NGA is supposed to come out too towards the end of the month as well. on their acquisition of Lion as well. So if that does happen, I think their price target is 40. It is still stuck in this downward channel. I thought it actually broke out, but it's still stuck and running down with it. So we'll see how that goes. I'm trying to think. There's not really a lot to report on. Netflix does have some nice sideways consolidation. I'm not a huge fan of Netflix just because the way it trades. A lot of times you get these wicks straight out the gate. If you day trade this thing, you're going to get wrecked majority of the time, unless you have it zoned out well and wait and be extremely patient with the day trades with this one. It's okay. It's not my favorite to trade, but so there's like long terms, it definitely does good. I know Netflix is always kind of good for one of those ones, like if there's a huge sell-off or something for whatever news or something, grab it in a zone. It normally wicks up pretty quick. They do have a cult following, so that does help. Let me see here. I think, again, I think that's pretty much it. Like a lot of the ones that came out today, again, I want to see what the market is going to do. Again, I'm mostly cash right now. I got 2 positions that are penny stocks that, again, I believe in both companies and I'm willing to hold them for the year. That's my intention when I went into them. My intention wasn't to stop out and try to reposition myself. If it does, again, if either one of them does go parabolic for whatever reason, I will go get out of it and take profit. But aside for if they start dropping off, I'm not worried about it. I'm willing to hold them. Again, that was my intention. But being said, I think just waiting. I want to see what the market's got to do. I want a good position. So this is the whole part about being patient. I know sometimes it's hard to do that. It's always fun to take a position and make money, but sometimes it's just not there. And some of these scalps, like today, there was a lot of great setups, but some of those scalps, I just didn't feel like jumping in them first thing out the gate, especially on a Monday. If it was a Tuesday or something and those setups were there, I probably would have taken a couple of those setups. But considering today was Monday, I was almost guaranteed that everything was just going to sell today. So I didn't really have the conviction to want to jump into anything this morning. But being said, stay safe, manage risk, and have some fun. Until next time, guys, I will see you guys later.